October 2019, a worn cardboard box arrives at the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. Inside, a single wedding photograph from 1902. The donation is modest, but the image within is exceptional. It shows a black couple in formal wedding attire, standing before an elaborate painted backdrop in Richmond, Virginia. The bride wears an expensive white lace gown with leg of mutton sleeves, her hair crowned with silk orange blossoms. Beside her, the groom stands in a black frock coat. A boutonniere is pinned to his lapel. The studio mark reads Reynolds & Son, one of Richmond's premier black photography studios, a favorite of the elite in Jackson Ward. Jackson Ward in 1902 was extraordinary. Known as the Harlem of the South, it housed the wealthiest African American community per capita in the United States. Black-owned banks financed black businesses. The neighborhood thrived with theaters, shops, and professional offices. For a black couple to commission such an elaborate wedding portrait signaled wealth, status, and social prominence. Enter Dr. Naomi Jenkins, a conservation specialist. She begins the standard cataloging process. Under magnification, she examines the lace quality, the composition, the era, typical lighting. Then, something unusual. The groom's wedding band catches the light at an odd angle, revealing what appears to be an engraving on the inner surface. She positions the photograph beneath a digital microscope camera. The screen magnifies the image 40 times. The engraving is unmistakable, two initials intertwined in ornate Victorian script. E.M. Dr. Jenkins retrieves the documentation sleeve. On the photograph's reverse, written in elegant cursive, Florence Taylor, married October 12, 1902. The bride's name is Florence Taylor, not E.M. The initials don't match. That single discrepancy marks the beginning of an investigation that would span 3 years, uncover a pattern of crimes across 5 southern states, and reveal the identities of 7 women whose lives were systematically destroyed by one of the most successful con artists of early 20th century America, a man who wore another woman's ring to every wedding he performed. The investigation requires historical context. Marcus Peterson, senior archivist at the museum, joins the research. Their first task: verify the wedding's existence beyond the photograph. The Richmond Free Press, a black newspaper established in 1890, documented every significant event in the African American community. Its digitized archives hold wedding announcements, obituaries, business openings, and social gatherings. The October 12, 1902 edition contains a brief notice: Miss Florence Taylor, daughter of Mr. Augustus Taylor Puffs, proprietor of Taylor's Haberdashery on 2nd Street, was united in marriage to Mr. Samuel Edison on Saturday, October 12th at First African Baptist Church. The ceremony was attended by the finest families of Jackson Ward. The groom's name is Samuel Edison. His initials would be S.E., not E.M. A comprehensive search begins. The team examines Richmond city directories, business registries, church membership rolls, and property records from 1900 to 1903. In this era, African American communities maintained meticulous documentation through churches, fraternal organizations, and mutual aid societies. Professional men belonged to multiple institutions. Samuel Edison appears nowhere. The search expands to Atlanta, Georgia, listed on the marriage certificate as Edison's previous residence. Atlanta in 1902 had one of the most vibrant black business communities in the South. The Atlanta Life Insurance Company, founded 1905, would become a legendary black-owned enterprise. Black newspapers like the Atlanta Independent documented prominent figures. Yet no Samuel Edison exists in any Atlanta records from this period. The Library of Virginia archives hold the official marriage certificate, handwritten in copperplate script. Bride Florence Elizabeth Taylor, age 22, daughter of Augustus Taylor. Groom Samuel James Edison, age 28, occupation investor, Previous residence, Atlanta, Georgia. The document is legal and properly filed, but the man it describes left no trace in any other historical record. No business listings, no church membership, no property ownership, no evidence of existence before the wedding. This pattern is significant. In 1902, a successful black investor would have been notable, celebrated, documented. His absence from all records suggests deliberate concealment. The investigation shifts focus. If Samuel Edison didn't exist before October 1902, who was the man in the photograph? And why was he wearing a ring engraved with someone else's initials? Understanding what happened requires understanding who Florence Taylor was. Her father, Augustus Taylor, represents a remarkable American story. Born enslaved in Virginia in 1852, Augustus was freed as a child after the Civil War. He received education at a Freedmen's Bureau school, institutions established by the federal government to educate formerly enslaved people. By 1885, through decades of labor and savings, he opened Taylor's Haberdashery on 2nd Street in Jackson Ward. The business thrived. Augustus sold men's furnishings, hats, gloves, cravats, walking sticks, to Richmond's growing black professional class. By 1900, his haberdashery was one of the most successful black-owned businesses in the city. Augustus became a pillar of the community. Deacon at First African Baptist Church, one of Richmond's oldest black congregations, and a member of the Grand United Order of True Reformers, a black fraternal organization that operated its own bank, providing financial services to African Americans excluded from white institutions. Florence, his only child, received education in music and literature. In the social hierarchy of Black Richmond, she represented the next generation's promise, the children of formerly enslaved people now living as educated, cultured citizens. For Augustus Taylor, his daughter's marriage carried immense significance. Not merely personal, but the culmination of everything Reconstruction had promised. Black families building wealth, establishing legacies, securing futures. Summer 1902 editions of the Richmond Free Press reveal how Samuel Edison entered their lives. July, Mr. Samuel Edison of Atlanta was guest of honor at a reception hosted by Deacon Augustus Taylor. Mr. Edison spoke eloquently about investment opportunities in the New South and the importance of Negro economic self-determination. August. Miss Florence Taylor was seen at Sunday services, accompanied by Mr. Samuel Edison, who has recently relocated to Richmond to establish an investment firm serving the colored community. Edison presented himself perfectly. A sophisticated black businessman from progressive Atlanta, someone who would help Richmond's black elite grow their wealth. Augustus introduced Edison throughout Jackson Ward's tight-knit community, vouching for his character and credentials. The wedding on October 12, 1902 was a celebration of black achievement and possibility. But within weeks, everything collapsed. A November 1902 notice in the Free Press reads, "Mrs. Florence Edison requests that friends refrain from calling as she is indisposed and requires privacy." By January 1903, a legal notice appears, auction of household goods belonging to Mrs. Florence Edison. January 15th, to satisfy debts. 3 months after her wedding, Florence was selling everything she owned. Samuel Edison had disappeared. A routine inquiry to the Library of Virginia produces an unexpected result. An archivist, responding to questions about Samuel Edison in other Virginia cities, discovers another marriage certificate. Norfolk, Virginia, June 3, 1901, 16 months before Florence's wedding. Groom Samuel Edison, age 27, occupation investor, previous residence, Charleston, South Carolina. Bride Elizabeth Harris, daughter of Reverend Marcus Harris of Queen Street Baptist Church. The same name, the same occupation, a different city, a different bride. This discovery transforms the investigation. Inquiries are sent to historical archives across the South: Charleston, Atlanta, Savannah, Memphis, every major city with a substantial African-American population. The responses reveal a systematic pattern. Charleston, South Carolina, March 1900. Samuel Edison married Eliza Monroe, daughter of a successful carpenter. 6 months later, court records show Eliza lost her home to creditors claiming Edison had borrowed against the property. Savannah, Georgia, October 1900s. Samuel Edison married Marie Thompson. Her father, a shipping clerk, invested his life savings in an investment firm Edison claimed to be establishing. Both the money and Edison vanished by Christmas. Memphis, Tennessee, August 1901. A man calling himself Samuel Edwards married Ruth Jackson, widow of a postal worker. She lost her late husband's death benefit, nearly $20,000, within 3 weeks of the wedding. Norfolk, Virginia, June 1901. Samuel Edison married Elizabeth Harris. Her father, a respected minister, was left financially ruined. Richmond, Virginia, October 1902. Samuel Edison married Florence Taylor. 7 cities, 7 weddings, 7 devastated women, across a 3-year period. The profile is remarkably consistent. Every victim was the daughter or widow of a successful black businessman, minister, or professional. Every community had strong churches and social networks. Every bride came from a family with property or significant savings. The initials on the ring, EM, match the first known victim, Eliza Monroe of Charleston, March 1900. The man who called himself Samuel Edison kept Eliza Monroe's wedding ring and wore it hidden on his finger to every subsequent wedding. While marrying Elizabeth Harris, Marie Thompson, Ruth Jackson, and Florence Taylor, he wore Eliza's ring. This detail suggests more than simple theft. It indicates a psychological dimension, a need to mark each new deception with evidence of the first. The scale of the operation becomes clear. This wasn't opportunistic crime. It was systematic, calculated predation targeting specific communities across the American South.